Daniel, you finished your ice cream? I'm going to have some. Get free.
For taking your time and coming. I guess it was 40 years of working with the USDA. One wonderful thing about working with the United States Department of Agriculture is that every 2 weeks I got paid. And then they tell me that there's going to be a pension at the end, and I hope that that will actually come to pass if I live that long. I'm not retiring. I like my work. I love my work. And it's been a great privilege all these years to be able to work at something that you enjoy and that you get satisfaction out of, and where, in spite of administration, you can accomplish things. And you could accomplish more, maybe if they helped you, but you can get things done. And sometimes they do help you. After 20 years, the area director of Beltsville, a fellow of the society, sent me a letter saying that they did appreciate my working with them. That was nice. After 20 years, they felt that it was good that I was there. For a while, where did you all disappear to? You were in charge of this thing, and they volunteered me to get up and talk. Am I supposed to do this?
Yeah, all right.
I've got Irish cousins here who are much more articulate than I am. These people have the gift. And I was hoping to hear from them. And of course have it recorded for posterity. In case they deny it later, we can tell them that, you know, we got it down. It's been a great pleasure, because I always liked plants, and I had an opportunity to work with them. And for somebody who likes working with plants, working in the Department of Agriculture is a great place to be. But if we're giving tributes to people, and I should give some recognition here to all of you who came. I changed shirts because the other one was too hot. But I brought along, or intended to bring along, because it's in the other shirt, a picture of my third grade teacher. We have teachers here. I had a teacher in the third grade, Mother Mary Bernadette, of the Religious Jesus and Mary. And if it wasn't for her teaching me to read and write and being kind and compassionate to a very worried young child, I would never have been able to learn to read and write. So I give tribute to her, and to my parents, and to my sisters who are here, and to my good friend Father Lily, who for many, many years, when I had no help at all in Beltsville, brought out these wonderful students from Gonzaga, all due to the math, you know, no diminishment of the math, and the other large rival. Wonderful students who did these science fair projects. And they were brilliant. They were smarter than many of the professors or scientists we had at Beltsville who looked down their nose on kids. So I'm very grateful. And also to Father Lily for his great kindness to my mother in her illness. And to my good friend Dr. Clifford, who I met when I was at Cornell, who also was exceptionally kind to my mother. Dr. Clifford is from Ireland, a noted expert in the area of nutrition, a man who works very, very hard. And his daughter, Maureen, who came and worked with me during the summer. We appreciate their being here. And Jim McMurphy, that we worked with for many, many years at Beltsville. Much of what we were able to accomplish without Jim. I remember being out there in the cold and the wind, counting alfalfa plants in the field. We could never have done that without Jim. And then planting 3,000 plant nursery of alfalfa that we put in back in those days. That was an awesome task, and it was so dry that we had to dig down deep to get those plants in there. He grew up on a tobacco farm, so he knew how to do that kind of stuff. So that was great. And then we worked with some real strange people at Beltsville. And it was great that Jim was there to kind of smooth things over and deal with some very difficult people at times. People who shouldn't have had retirement parties, but should have had exorcisms. Then we had, then my good friend Dr. Kirkendall was here somewhere. Here
Did you have to talk about me right after mentioning strange people?
Dr. Kirkendall is a brilliant scientist, got his PhD when he was 23.
All right.
From North Carolina. And
Yeah.
what a great joy to work with him in designing experiments and in writing up experiments to see a really first-class mind at work. A great privilege. You do in the USDA to work with some really wonderful people. There's some others, but you do have these wonderful people. You need to focus on that. And so, and then Brian Johnson, who was
Our
here
AD
many
special.
years ago in electrical engineering at the University of Maryland. Brian would come back in from his classes at the University of Maryland talking about some math class that he took. And Brian loved math. And he would start to explain it to me. And you could see this kid really loved this stuff. It was just enjoyable. Some things that I never understood in college, he explained to me later on. So that was a great privilege. And then we went and climbed Old Rag Mountain any number of times, Brian. We had a wonderful time doing that. And we went to one of those tests. It was at Penn State. And the plot plan didn't tell us where the plots were.
That's right.
We had an awful time trying to figure that out. I was ready to give up and leave, and Brian says, "Oh no, this is a technical problem. We've got to solve it." These engineers are like that, you know. When it's a technical problem, they just won't let go. They're like a bulldog. And finally, we did figure it out. Brian figured it out. So that was grand. And then we had Kyle Ham, Mr. and Mrs. Ham's wonderful son, who worked with us. What a wonderful group we had at that time. They were just a terrific group of young people. And he was a great pleasure to work with. He would come in and he had a smile that would just brighten up the whole room. You know, and not every day was a day that brought you a smile, but when he came in, it just lifted your spirits to have that young fellow with us. And then we have Billy Wyatt here now. He's working with me now. Went to school with my nephew Matthew at DeMatha, an outstanding school here in Prince County. And Billy has been a tremendous help. Billy's in studying agriculture at the University of Maryland at College Park.
All right.
And has been a great source of strength and hope to have Billy to work with. And then we had, I think I've done, and then we had Joshua, who was very helpful to us at Beltsville, working, I guess it was 2 summers ago, out there taking notes in the field on pubescence color and flower color and so forth in the heat of the sun, recording all of this information very assiduously. And so we thank you for your help also. And then we have my cousins from Galway, William and Michael, my cousin Teresa's sons, and they did roof thatching when they first came to America. And they went down to the Smithsonian Institution's behest down to Jamestown, Virginia, where the first settlement was made, and they put the thatched roof on the chapel there. And there are certain secrets that these thatchers do that are not generally known. One of which is that there is a coin with the year in which they did the work is placed into a thatch in some certain place, which they never reveal. And there's a bottle put in there too, with some liquid material in it, which I don't know that they reveal that either, but the next thatcher that comes, comes in anticipation of finding that to give him the courage that he needs to go on.